Hey guys, JJ Shipmaster here doing a video after feels like forever. Must be like a year plus. But right here I have a figure that I've been waiting for an extremely long time. I pre-ordered it on AmiAmi roughly a little more than a year ago. I think I pre-ordered it around like March of 2016. And it was set to come out around September of that year. And it got delayed, I think, 3 or 4 times until this month, May 2017. And it was a long time coming. I don't think that the delays were warranted because I don't know why. They just feel like they didn't need to be delayed 4 times. It didn't need to be delayed an entire half a year. Maybe a few months, because that happens with some other figures. But I did not expect this to be delayed a couple months. Like half a year. Anyway, moving on. First, let's take a box tour. Let's see right here. This is by the company Di Molto Bene. I have no experience with that company except for one other figure that I will show later on. Apparently, this is number 5 in the Minissimo line. There you go. This is what it looks like on the front. Really nice packaging. Really good presentation. Reminds me exactly of an Android. And as you can see here, number 5, Ruby Rose, Minissimo, a bunch of Japanese I can't read. RWBY Productions. Awesome. There's her face. On the right side of the box, let's see, Ruby Rose, number 5. Shows the heart for the happy face. On the opposite side, it shows her other face, which is the angry face. Well, really just like a stern frown. And it shows her with crescent rose. Up on the top, we get this again, with all the logos. And on the back, we have all of this. Okay, now that we've seen everything on the box, let's take a look at what's inside. While opening up the box, what we first see, we are greeted with the instructions, which is in a nice little thing, held together by tape. You can easily open it without ripping it. It just shows all the contents and like how to assemble it, because there is minor assembly. On the inside we get a nice little flower, nice rose, and much like an Android, it comes out looking like this. Comes with a cape, 2 extra faces, extra leg, 2 extra arms, crescent rose, and the figure herself. And the nice touch that I like is on the inside, the base fell out because I did open it before. It says Minissimo Ruby Rose on the bottom. There's a really nice full moon in the background, reminiscent of the Red trailer that came out way back when, 2013. Honestly, I think this one looks way better than the one that came with the McFarlane Ruby figure. It came out, I think, 2014. Okay, moving on. Okay, now that we have her out of the packaging, this is how she comes without her cape attached. It's like a quick look at the base. It says Di Molto Bene right here in the corner. It is in a hexagonal shape. Multiple little plug-in points for different poses. And I love that right here on the back it says RWBY Productions. I'm used to that saying good smile or Kotobukiya. Now it says Rooster Teeth, which is awesome. Real quick, let me get out of the way that there is only one problem that I have with this figure, and it is the neck joint. It is very reminiscent of an Android joint in its shape. However, they are not cross-compatible, as this one is extremely small and narrow, and Android ones are more thick. Now, the way we put the cape on is first we need to remove the head, take the cape, which is a separate piece, just regular regular plastic, slightly pliable, and it's a little bit tricky, but it goes around the neck joint and plugs into the back, and there we go. And then from there we can plug from there, sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, from there we could plug it into the base, the arm that comes with it. Okay, And like I said, the one problem I have with this figure is the neck joint, because it is extremely loose. As most Nendoroids and chibi figures in general are, the head is huge. And this is where almost all the plastic is, because of the hair. And this cannot support the weight of this, which is something I call bullshit on, because it was delayed half a year for God knows what. If anything, to fix QC problems when this one is left. It might just be mine. I hope it's just mine, that other people don't have the same problem. But this is bullshit for waiting another half a year. Other than that, I love this figure. Okay, now putting her head back on. It goes on very easily, but look. It just comes right off. See? And by the way, I'm not just barely putting it on, I'm putting it on all the way. It's in the hole all the way, but it still just flops back and forth over and over until it pops off. I know RWBY can be derpy, especially in RWBY Chibi, but come on. Anyway, moving on to her accessories. She, of course, comes with crescent rows. And by the way, this is probably for all of them. This is just for packaging. Crescent rows comes in backwards. It can detach at 2 points, down here near the handle, and up here near the actual blade part, but it is a peg. So you can just rotate it so that it's correct, where the magazine is facing the blade, and the scope isn't blocked by the freaking hook. But be careful, because it can be misaligned, but it's easy enough to fix it. And of course, that's how it looks on this side. It is just a soft rubbery plastic. Nothing that will snap, although it can warp. See, it's already slightly warped. It's like curving a little bit. On the other side, you get a short, stumpy little nub for the handle. And there we go. She gets 2 extra arms. One for each both are for holding crescent rows. And then 1 extra leg for posing. And the way these work is I'm going to take off her head for this to work, and her cape. The cape can be a little bit tricky to get on because it's like slightly thicker plastic around the actual neck. Okay, first I'm going to show the leg. Put those out of the way. Alright, this is how it looks on the bottom. Pardon me. This is how it looks. It is a basic joint, just like the neck. It just moves forward and back, and if you rotate it, it can move side to side. All you gotta do is pop it off, take the joint, plug it into the new leg, which is a little tight, but that's good, and plug it back in. It is at a slight angle. Come on, get in there. And there we go. And now it looks like she's skipping, or jumping. Alright, put it all together so we can get a new pose. Pose her in the air. Pop her head back on. Uh-oh. That's not good. Seems like I need to tighten the joints on the arm, because it cannot support her up in the air. But luckily those are just screws, and that's easily fixable. Just adjust the angle, and there we go. And now it looks like she's jumping. Come on, focus, please. Thank you. And to change the face, it is basically just like any other Nendoroid. Take the head off again. Seems to be a theme. And here are the 2 other faces it comes with. There's the happy face, and then the stern looking face. Unfortunately, my stern looking face has a small paint error right up there, but that is hidden by her bangs, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, like let's use the happy face. Like any other Nendoroid, we have her head, and then pull the front of her bangs off. They just look just like that. Here's the plug. Here's where it plugs in. There's the joint. Get the happy one, put it right in. Can be a little tricky because they don't like to line up. Plug it in. Get the head back on. Back into the base. And there we go. Look at that. This is adorable. I love this figure. Okay, next, to get Crescent Rose into her hands, we need to take everything apart pretty much. Whoa, something was flying. Be right back, I gotta go find that. Okay, now that I'm back, hold on. Now that I'm back, we are going to put on the new arms. They're just pegs, so you can just pop them off. And then put the new ones on. They're just other pegs. Okay, now that we have the new arms on, we need to also take apart Crescent Rose in those 3 places. Okay, now that we have her all put together with Crescent Rose in hands, minus the blade portion, you can see that her arms and hands fit together just like this. The wrists can rotate on both arms, on all arms that it comes with. Note that the wrist can move, but it feels like you might tear the plastic. That's normal. That's how I felt when I was turning them. It is perfectly fine. No stretch marks, no anything. The arm is popping out a little bit. Gotta fix that in a little bit. But yeah, and also one thing to note on the Crescent Rose, the bottom part of the handle, it only goes in one way. You see this little notch right here? All you need to do is make sure that it's facing the top. And then it will be perfectly fine. Moving on, I'm going to assemble the rest of the Crescent Rose, put her head and her cape back on, and then we'll see the rest of the view. Okay, now here she is, all posed together with her accent leg and her hands and Crescent Rose in hands. And in between takes, I did tighten up the joints on the neck, so now it holds her up perfectly. If only her neck did, she's like an infant. Okay, so now up next, I'm going to show a couple of comparisons. Here she is next to an average Nendoroid. Right here I have my Ultimate Nipako-chan, the mascot for the God Hand Nippers. That's how she looks. They are comparable in size. RWBY is slightly taller. I'll take her off the stand. Move the nippers. They hurt me. They are sharp. See, right next to each other. Besides her like hairband head height, she is a little bit bigger. Alright, thank you, Nipako. Oh no, she fell. She'll help me next time I build a model kit. Moving on. Next, I'm going to show you the only other Di Molto Bene figure that I have any experience with, and it is the Monster Musume Mia statue. I call it statue, it's a figure, but whatever. I think this is also 1/8 scale. Correct me if I'm wrong, 1/8 scale figure. Also a very nice figure. I didn't do a review on it because it's just a statue, there's nothing really to see. You can see a review in photos. They're much better than I can take. But I highly recommend this figure. Small QC problem with like one part of the scales on her. Literally just like somewhere back here, it's a little bit dull. Like right around there. But other than that, this figure is absolutely fantastic. This is the only other Di Molto Bene figure I have any experience with. Moving on, we will compare her to the McFarlane RWBY figure. Here's how that looks. I had taken off a high shelf, so there might be some dust on her. I apologize. Even though I used the can of air duster on it. While this one only has minor posability in the arms and the head on the ball joint, it looked nice for the time, considering this was the first RWBY figure. I think after that it was the 3A. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, this was the next RWBY figure in the RWBY figure line. And then somewhere along the way, Japan came out and made a prize figure. Prize figure being one of those that you win in a claw machine, a UFO catcher in Japan. And we have the Furyu figure. This I got on eBay for probably more than it's worth, like 50 bucks. just under, I think. And this figure is absolutely fantastic. For like a cheap PVC vinyl figure, this is absolutely fantastic. It's gorgeous, great size. A hell of a lot better than the McFarlane one. If you could track this down on eBay, it's worth it. It's Furyu, F-U-R-Y-U. If you can get it for like 50 or less, it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. And then as of now, I think that's every RWBY figure minus the vinyls and the blind box figures. And then upcoming, also by Dei Molto Bene, is a, I think, 1/6 scale RWBY figure based on some kind of artwork. I'll probably edit into this so you can see, instead of me just arbitrarily saying it. Probably use that word wrong, but whatever. Other than that, this figure is absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. Please find it if you can. It might be sold out. And real quick, it's probably late, but I'm going to show the instruction pamphlet in case anybody wanted to see it. This is the top half. Just shows all the contents, all the warnings. Don't give it to a child. The back, that, and the arms and legs. And that's it. Blank on the back. That's all. Thank you for watching. Maybe I'll make another video one day. Who knows? I mean, I have that to build, so maybe.